There will be one billboard like that. I'm trying to get rid of it before social.
It's now 6 o'clock. Chair, open and call this May 17, 2022 meeting to order. Fairfield County School Board. Well, we have been duly notified, and I do confirm quorum. This time, we will make a motion to go into executive session.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we enter executive session with personnel,
Yes.
for personnel matters.
Motion made by Ms. Harris, second by Mr. Davis, to go into executive session for personnel matter. All in favor, show by raising of the right hand. That would be 7-0. For the audience, we will not be in executive session no longer than 6:30. We don't have a lot to talk about, so we'll probably be out shorter than that. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Tennis, that's right. It was tennis. I ain't right track. This is your first time trying to play. Awesome. Y'all ready to get back to church?
I was about to ask you. Jackie's always ready.
You know, I need to say this on Sunday. I'm showering. I start cooking and doing everything else I need to do while I'm listening to them.
That's the advantages.
Gotta get my mind and spirit.
Get your focus right.
Yeah, refocus.
I've heard a lot of people say the same thing.
It's gonna be hard. I mean, 2 years. My son is a senior in North Carolina, North Carolina. My daughter will graduate from high school next.
Oh, I see you signed up for parents.
Yeah, if you're here.
What you gonna what you gonna study? Oh.
My brother specializes in speech pathology.
Good, good. No shortage of jobs.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe the month.
Yeah, they need to put in the money.
Definitely get a job.
Yeah.
You remember after my. That's what she said.
Let me tell you about, he was friendly so long. Brian, I want to sell and close the door.
Oh, I miss hearing about that on Sunday morning. Especially since the Lakers are out of it. You would have plenty to say.
Run out of books, there's a box on the table with about 10. Yeah. You know you talk about recording would be smart.
Yeah, the strengths and ours are like practicing in the bathroom, trying to memorize the we're gonna do 30 takes and then try to remember. He goes to rant, I'm like, I need it in one take. I said, she was gonna take 3 anyway. He's about to get it in one take.
That was cool. Thank
He's probably added most of these.
I called for it. I'm like, what?
I live to get like 30 takes, but I can't use my now. I can get my 1 cent.
It's so funny.
Oh.
I can't watch it any longer.
He nervous. Let's see if I'm not.
What that one hurt? Okay, I got it. He started again. I missed that one again. Feel like, oh my God.
You better take a piece from this, a piece from this, and blend it.
I can't use.
Can't even blend it.
Because even the ones that he did good, you looking down, you read his papers.
No, I don't think. Hello.
Just say, hey, I'm coaching. You know, and I support you. And maybe you need to get them to say, I'm coaching and I support the Be Smart initiative. This is-
Yeah, gotta go back in.
Yeah, just, that's-
Other than that.
what's up with talkers? You probably know, well, you the newest one too. So, you the newest one. She be nervous about talking to me. Yeah, I'm about to say she's nervous.
We got it right. So far as fully covered.
Okay.
When
Oh, yeah, great.
yeah.
Okay, this is a good one.
I said except tomorrow.
I think they had Greg. Yeah, she. That's the answer. Oh. Well, you know, it's 8 o'clock there. She means, right? 8 seconds. Recognition. Yeah. I think he wants to get back.
I'm good.
Time the chair will entertain a motion to executive session. No action were taken.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we exit executive session with no actions taken, provided I get a second.
Second such motion. Motion made by Ms. Harrison, second by Dr. Harris. We exit executive session, no action were taken. All in favor, show by raising the right hand. That would be 7-0. At this time, I just want to welcome everyone to our May 17th board meeting. We really appreciate you, parents, students, for this journey together. And so, in saying that, we will have our pledge to leave the flag and moment of silence. Let's observe a moment of silence before we speak. Thank you. Motion to approve the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, we approve the agenda as is.
Ms. Harrison, a motion to approve the agenda as is, second by Mr. Davis. All in favor, approve the agenda, show by raising the right hand. That would be 7. Do we have any public comment? No, we don't have any. This time, the presentation recognition given to our superintendent, Dr. Green.
Chairman, members of the board, it gives me great pleasure to bring Dr. Swilly up to recognize our Fairfield Central High School Beta Club Convention winners. Ms. Taylor and her team have done an excellent job of preparing these young people who represent the great fine style. I think Dr. Swilly told me, Taylor said that the bishop was going to get up the convention. All she needed was a little bucket to bring back the award. Now she needs a trailer to bring back that our young people are doing. So we decided to recognize them for the outstanding job we have done. We were trying to recognize them for a while now, but with busy schedules, we get them to reschedule, but finally we have been here. So I'll turn it over to Dr. Yeah. So Ms. Thomas, it will be recognized, Ms. Thomas. So we have the district engineer of the year, Ms. Thomas, and Ms. Thomas, I'm sure assistance on capacity with the Beta Club as well. She's an assistant sponsor, something like that. All right.
All right, good evening, everyone. Dr. Green, board chair, School Board Vice Chair, and the rest of our board of trustees. Thank you for having us here tonight to recognize two groups of students from Fairfield High School. But first, we'll begin with our Beta Club. On February the 4th and 5th, Fairfield County students competed in the state senior Beta Club convention in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Our students competed in 35 academic and art-related competitions. We placed in 18 of those competitions. While individuals and groups from our club competed, we also had an outgoing state president convening over the entire convention. For the 4th time in the last 8 years, we have a newly elected state officer from our club. So first, we have State Vice President Jemiah Kennedy.
Good job,
Have outgoing state president, Mr. Colin Jackson. Some of our students are not here, but we wanted to recognize them just so you can know what accolades our students are receiving. We had a spotlight dancer, Mr. Alvin Wilson. For math, 9th grade, 2nd place, Kinsley Green. Science, 9th grade, 2nd place, Rashid Mawakil. We don't recognize Kinsley while she has also for Kinsley, we had speech, Division 1, 2nd place. As well as drawing, Division 1, 3rd place.
Excellent job. Say your name.
Science, 9th grade, as I said, it was 2nd place for Rashid Mawakil. Spanish, 10th grade, and she has several as well. 1st place for Spanish 10th grade, Alexia Hernandez. She also received 2nd place in Mixed Media Division 1. As well as on-site drawing Division 1 1st place.
Hey.
All right, Spanish, 11th grade, we have 2nd place winner in Caroline Villegas Salas. Painting Division 2, 3rd place, we have Makia Kennedy. Jewelry Division 2, we had Kiana Boyd.
Boy.
And she was 1st place.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Right, next we have some groups. So if all of the students, if any of you are here, please come forward. Apparel Design Division 1, 1st place. Members of that team were Alexis Burbage, Alyssa Peak, Jasmine Smith, Skylar Truesdale, and Kelly Ventimilla.
All right. All right. Good job. Good job.
We'll recognize our marketing and communications team with the 1st place win, Kennedy Bates. Keelan Cooper, Kylie Burns, and J.C. Green. Problem-solving team placed third, and the members were Kinsley Green, Jasmine Hall, Eddie English, and Rashiva Wakil.
Agree another round of applause.
Performing arts group with a third place win. This is a large group. Kinsley Green, Gianna Rose, Janiyah Perry, Malachi Woodard, Kendis Green, Alexia Hernandez, Carla Pickett, Janisha Gibbs, Raven Trapp, Renaya Lyles, Chanel Woodard, Deja Jones, Anaya Belton, Ryan Stewart, Akeem Davis, Jamaria Evans, Kenya Davis, Kylie Goff, Christian McDaniel, Alvin Wilson, Joshua Green, Kylie Burns, Demetrius Peoples, Luke Downs, Caroline Velagas Salas, Jasmine Smith, Ricky Smith, Kiana Boyd, Parker Jones, and that was last Parker.
Yeah, all right. Another round of applause.
Everywhere show choir. Show choir statement. You know. This table would like me to add the last group that was just recognized, performing arts group. That was the first time they made it to the national level. And the Whitney Show Choir champs, who placed second at state. We're going back to defend our national championship though. Christina Mathis, Kinsley Green, Chanel Woodard, Deasia Jones, Anaya Belton, Kiana Rose, Janiyah Perry, Malachi Woodard, Kaylee Gall, Kendis Green, Alexia Hernandez, Carla Pickett, Kitty Bates, Jamaria Evans, Lamora Strong, Kenya Davis, Joshua Green, Eddie English, Katie Maldonado, Christian McDaniel, and Kylie Gass.
Good job.
Quiz Bowl, written, second place. Place team, Aiden Mobley,
She ain't no kids about the crib.
Raymond Tanukula, Joshua Mosley, and Kinsley Green. And Josh and Aiden stay. Robotics Showcase placed first place. And early was Adrian McMillan, Saul Pandala, Jasmine Hall, Aiden Mobley, Revamp, Tanukula, Jasmine Smith, and Rashiva Warfield.
Yeah. Excellent job.
For two-dimensional design, receiving a second place was Aiden Mobley. And congratulate our students. As you can see, we wanted to showcase what they had earned. They worked hard. They do a lot of after-school practices, a lot of commitments, managing multiple activities. So the hardest part was getting them all here because they all are a part of spring sports. So that was the hard part of getting them here. And so I congratulate you. Additionally, we could not do any of this without a dynamic sponsors who make it all happen. So we have, of course, Ms. Shannon Taylor. Ms. Sarah. We have Ms. Byron Dixon. They go compete at nationals, and so we wanted to show you guys that we appreciate your consistent support for our students in traveling to Tennessee. Yes, to recognize, represent Fairfield Central High School, Fairfield County School District, and I am sure they will make us proud as they have been in the past.
Let's set it up. And so now we will be recognizing our outstanding students who receive credentials from Untitled College before they even receive their high school diploma. And you know, we still are pretty smart guy in high school. I'm not saying. I wasn't quite that smart. You know what I mean? I didn't get any credentials in high school before I got my high school diploma. So we are so proud and impressed with the job that these young folks have done. You know, I can remember years ago when we first had our first cohort to graduate from Untitled College, and people were just astounded at the number of credentials awarded in Louisville Fairfield Central High School. And many of them went back to their districts and said, we got to develop a program similar to what's going on at Fairfield Central High School. And so now you see multiple school districts in the room who have lots more graduates. But even with them expanding on their program, I think the only school that had as many as Fairfield Central High School, probably Airport High School. They're almost in business tech backyard. I mean, home business tech camp. So these young folks have done an absolutely remarkable job. We'd be remiss if we did not recognize their hard work because it was hard. I'm gonna tell you, it wasn't easy, and nothing we're doing is ever easy. So we want to just thank them for the job that they've done. We want to recognize their parents, who I know have had many sleepless nights and saying that we want to go ahead and get out that program because it's just too much. But they have stood in there and are reaping the rewards. And the benefits are immense when you go to college with all of those outcomes. It's just immense. When you can walk in the door as potentially a junior in college. So give them all a round of applause.
And the first group of students we will recognize received an associate in science. And we want to tell the difference, associate in science versus an associate in arts. Both are great. However, the associate in science is what all of our candidates earn, and it's the upper track of the two. So I want to commend our students for not only persevering through receiving a degree before a high school diploma, but taking the hardest road, or the road less traveled in that process. So the first group received an associate in science degree as well as a general studies certificate. And we have Madison Belton.
You are being awarded with a book to the start to suit all the places that we go. They going to be
Absent, we'll recognize Alexis Burbidge and Jamaria Edmonds.
All right.
Sheldon Free in his absence. The next one we have is Mr. Colin Gatson. In their absence, we have Kaylee Dahl, as well as Adam Gonzalez, Joshua Green, Mackenzie Harris. Next up, Joshua Mosley. Keep going. Kirsten Paget. It was also Alyssa Peak, Sarah Pullen, Brian Stewart, Deja Tolbert, Skylar Truesdale, and Kelly Dittonilla. Those were our 17 associate in science degree candidates. We will recognize our certificate of general studies. These students completed 18 hours of college credits at least, so some have more than that, to earn a general studies certificate. And those recipients are Jasmine Smith, Michaela Armstrong,
Gamecock country. All right, good job.
Kennedy Bates, Anaya Belton,
Oh, go.
recognize our two in their absence, Tamara and Tanisha English. They missed graduation for the same reason they're missing tonight in preparation for a state track meet. As well as we have a new addition, our pre-nursing certificates. So we have 3 recipients of the pre-nursing certificates. So I want to take this moment to thank Ms. Thomas for continuing to grow and develop our program and always look for new opportunities for our students. So completing a pre-nursing certificate is Jalen Adams. First time with pre-nursing certificate. Next, we have Anaya Armstrong.
She must be Armstrong.
And I don't think I saw Victoria come in, but the last recipient for pre-nursing was Victoria P. So I, again, often say that I am a very proud principal of Fairfield High School, and this is an example of why I am that. Again, I want to thank Ms. Thomas for her work with our STEAM Early College Academy and continuing to grow and help our students thrive in that program. I want to take this moment to thank all of our parents, because again, you guys have been a consistent support for making certain that our students not only complete the high school, the requirements to graduate from high school, but also graduate from college. So parents, give yourselves a round of applause. For anybody who may be listening, we want you to all take advantage of the opportunity to have college courses before you leave high school, because as you saw by those students who just were recognized, they were the same members of our Beta Club. So it does not mean you cannot participate in other opportunities in high school, because they're showing how they participate in extracurriculars, in the clubs and organizations, as well as thrive by receiving a degree before graduating from high school. So thank you for the opportunity to recognize our students.
Let me say, I didn't realize that Ms. Thomas was here in a bigger club. I thought because you're trying to stimulate college quality. They wear many hats. But I wanna give Ms. Thomas a shout out because she has done a remarkable job of really managing all these different entities going on with this dual credit enrollment. As Dr. Swift said earlier, this is the first time we awarded a pre-nursing certificate, and that is due to her hard work of just recognizing the possibilities that exist for our young people. And so when we first started this initiative, she has took it much further than I even envisioned it could go. And so let me take this opportunity to thank her for doing an absolutely remarkable job. And since I'm saying it publicly, that means you can never leave until I leave. Give her another round of applause.
As Ms. Swilly, Dr. Swilly has said, a lot of parents, hard work along with the students, students can't do without the parents. The parents make me proud. Sometimes I get a little emotional because this is big. This is big. Getting a degree before you even go to get your diploma, that is big. And everybody is looking towards Fairfield County schools. We were the first one to start this. So you need to clap your hands for yourself. We're gonna, our board minutes, motion for our board minutes for the April 22nd meeting, regular call board meeting.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a recommendation, we accept the superintendent to approve the minutes for the April 19th regular call board meeting.
I say. Motion made by Ms. Harrison. Ms. Harrison, second by Mr. Davis. Our April 19th board meeting, all in favor, show by raising of the right hand. That would be 7-0. Thank you. This time, we're gonna have our superintendent report.
Chairman Miller, members of the board, just a couple of items I want to bring to your attention. If you have been paying attention to the district social media accounts, you notice that we have been displaying some information relative to the Be Smart campaign. And we are one of multiple districts across South Carolina who are really trying to bring attention to gun security. So this is not a debate about rather you should have a firearm or not. It is about whether you secure your firearm appropriately. So firearms do not fall into the wrong hands, particularly in the hands of a young person. Now we all watched with sadness as we read about the situation up in Greenville a couple of weeks ago, where a middle school student got his hand on a firearm and ended up shooting another middle school student who was tragically killed. And so that just reiterates the importance of us in showing that we secure firearms. And we want this to be a message that permeates our entire community. Not that we say you should not have guns, but if you have guns in your home, you should make sure you secure them. So we'll continue to get that message out over the next several months. Just to reiterate the importance of that. That is in partnership with the Fairfield County Sheriff Department, the Winsboro Police Department, and all entities in the community, so we can make sure that we keep our young people as safe as we possibly can. Members of the board, we want to bring your attention that class night will occur June 1st at 6:30 at Fairfield Central High School. We'll be recognizing all of the outstanding accomplishments of the senior class. So join us if you are able. Also on June 4th, we will be marching across the state, 8:30, bright and early, 8:30 at home. 8:30, we will start the music, names will be called. So 8:30, Central graduation at the football stadium. Board members, you can park. That same area was observed for you. And the crown was sent out, the list of ocean ceremonies that are occurring over the next couple of weeks. There's something going on all this award ceremony, kindergarten promotion ceremony, sixth grade promotion ceremony. I mean, it is busy season right now. I don't want to start naming dates and times because I probably messed up. But I am proud to send that information out. If anything that you can join, I know Ms. Harrison said that she was able to go down and participate in the an arts program.
They had a play last week, but I went today and I fed the Eager family. I normally invite you, but you don't come. So I didn't bother to call you today. I enjoyed spending the day with them, Miss Green, both of those, Miss Johnson over there. So I really enjoyed spending the day with them, but I got their dates though.
Dr. Green, if you need to be dismissed, you can go ahead right now. So we won't interrupt Dr. Green.
We appreciate you coming. All right, all right, as I said, we are in the midst of this graduation season, promotion ceremony, awards night, and the end of the year program. So it's really good that you possibly can make. I'm sure the schools will be very excited to see you. So Ms. Brown will send out a list to see if we can get some of these things on your calendar. Next, we're going to do a COVID-19 update. I know that's so, you know, folks, we start to see a bit of an uptick as it relates to COVID-19. And these numbers may not necessarily suggest that, but just this week alone, we've seen probably 3 or 4 staff cases of COVID-19. I'm not sure that's how many student cases. And the problem is, quite honestly, that we are doing home assessments. And we're doing home assessments to see what those numbers are accurately reflected. Okay, so sometimes when there's 0 isolation or 1 isolation, that doesn't really mean that you don't have more of that because people are doing these assessments at home, but the first line. All right, so as you see, the week of May 19th, May 9th through the 13th, we only had 1 student case during that week. I want to reiterate, because we were doing tests at home, that it doesn't mean we only had 1, because in the past it was required to report those numbers to DA when they were getting tested at CVS and doctor's offices and other places. But with the proliferation of at-home tests, those numbers are probably a little deflated. Next slide. All right, staff cases, you see week of May 9th through the 13th, we had 3 positive cases. As I told you just this week alone, I've had 3 positive staff cases reported so far. So I think as we watch the national trend, we are starting to see somewhat of an uptick. The good news, if there is any good news of that, is that hospitalizations continue to be relatively low. So people may be contracting COVID-19, but they aren't getting sick to the point that they have to be hospitalized. But we will continue to monitor those numbers. Next slide. I know staff quarantine. That's just a list of the isolations of high school. The 1 isolation, which was a positive case, was at Fairfield High School. Next slide. Okay. Any final questions?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Green.
Yes, ma'am.
I know the prediction is in the fall that it's going to be an uptick in the COVID cases, and we're seeing it going up now. So I'm pretty sure because everybody pretty much taking off their masks, but I'm sure we'll monitor when the kids come back to school to see what we need to do to take the necessary precaution to keep everybody safe. You know, they said take it off, so they taking it off, and still a lot of people have not been vaccinated, so. I encourage people to get vaccinated if you can, if you're able.
Yeah, Ms. Harrison, that's an excellent point. We will continue to monitor those numbers to determine whether we need to adjust our protocols at all. Right now, things, based on what we know, are going pretty well. And I have to always preface that by saying based on what we know. Because when you are doing at-home tests, those numbers aren't necessarily reported accurately. That's a decision that the state of South Carolina made to really kind of roll back testing to a large extent, not necessarily require people to report the numbers. So we don't really know what the numbers are. Okay, but looking at the national trends, you can pretty much be sure that they're a little higher than they were probably 2 years ago. Any other questions? All right, the next thing that we have is overnight out-of-state field trip, Bowtie Club. And so we have proposed taking the Bowtie Club for our end of the year trip to Washington, D.C. That is this coming Friday, Saturday, return on Sunday. One of the main sites that we'll visit will be the African American History Museum. In addition, we'll hit some of the other key points. Lincoln Memorial, MLK Memorial, Washington Monument. We'll kind of decide which ones we want to get. But I definitely want the young men to spend a little time in the African American History Museum. It is a fascinating exhibit. And I spent some time there previously. Quite honestly, you could probably spend a couple of days there. I mean, it is really that extensive. I mean, you could spend hours and hours on each floor. And so we look forward to our young men getting out of town, being able to experience a little new city, learning some new culture. And so since it is an overnight field trip, I present that to you for your approval. Can we get a motion, please?
Mr. Chair, make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation for the field trip for the Griffin Bowtie Club, May 20th through May 22nd.
I second such motion. Motion made by Ms. Harrison, second by Dr. Harris. Bowtie Club trip to Washington, D.C. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. Thank you. 7. Next, Chairman Miller, members of the board, the Elite Ladies, which is our sister organization, has planned their end of the year a field trip to Atlanta, Georgia. They will be visiting, among some other sites, I suspect, the National Center for Civil and Human Rights in Atlanta. They'll do a little downtown at Six Flags. And so we look forward to them being able to visit another city. Ms. Green, you always say exposure is so very important. So when people ask the value of these trips, I can simply say exposure is nothing else. Because in order to have a vision of where you can go, you have to see some different things that happen. So we are pleased to support our elite ladies traveling to Atlanta, Georgia, to spend the weekend there. Their trip departs May 27th, and they return May 28th. I can take that in for your. We get a motion, please.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the Elite Ladies overnight trip to Atlanta, Georgia, May 27th through 28th.
Who's that? You get this one. Motion made by Ms. Harrison, second by Ms. Green, to the Elite Ladies trip to Atlanta, Georgia. Do we need questions? Yeah. Any questions? All in favor, so by raising of the right hand, that would be 7-0. Chairman Miller, members of the board, the next item on the agenda, overnight out-of-state field trip request for Fairfield Central High School. As was mentioned earlier, the Beta Club will travel to Nashville, Tennessee, for the national convention. That is one of the benefits to placing in the top 3 at our state convention is that you get the opportunity to compete on the national level. We have done an absolutely remarkable job of competing at the highest level. As Dr. Swilly said last year, our show choir won national. We are confident that our young people not only will bring back awards from the state convention, but will bring back awards from the national convention. And I would like to thank you for supporting the young people in this effort. Similar to what I talked about the Bow Tie Club and Elite Ladies, there are some people who tend to question whether the district should invest in sending our young people on these kinds of trips. And I'm often baffled by the suggestion that the district should not invest in our young people, because that is our sole purpose, to invest in young people. And so if there's a question about whether we should be doing something like this, I'd love to have a conversation with anyone who would suggest that. And so I thank the board for always being committed to using our resources so our young people can not only compete at the state level, but also compete at the national level. And they have traveled all over the United States in the past year. I can remember one year they went out to the Midwest, Oklahoma. And I think every kid told us, man, that was quite a ride. But went all the way to Oklahoma to compete. Now this year, it'll be a little bit of a trip. Yeah, Nashville, we get there pretty quick. But whatever it is, our kids and our chaperones have been committed, and you have been committed as well. So I present that to you for your approval. Can we get a motion, please?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the out-of-state overnight field trip for Fairfield Central High School Beta Club. I think it's June 30th, and return on July 4th in Nashville, Tennessee.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison, second by Reverend Jackson. We're gonna give that one to Reverend Jackson. Oh, any questions on that? All in favor, show by raising of the right hand. Thank you, Dr. Green. Next, we have approval of the 2022-2023 instructional material textbook district selection recommendation for adoption. I have said to Mr. Miller just recently that when it comes to textbook adoption, even without the principal, Ms. Taylor, I defer to the experts in that area. So every time for English adoption, I didn't spend a lot of time looking at the material. I talked to the English teachers and said, which will be on? Okay. Because they don't want to be trying to weigh in on that when that's outside my expertise. And so this is basically how we handle that. I mean, we let the experts in that field determine what text is better. Now, County 6 one have better than the other. I mean, all of them could be good. But when it comes to economics textbook, we're going to talk to the history book. When we talk about the science textbook, we're going to talk to the science book. And so these are the texts that the teachers have indicated that they would prefer. And as a result, these are the texts that we are bringing to you for adoption. We get a motion, please.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the instructional materials district selection recommendation for the adoption for the 22-23 school year.
I see. Motion made by Ms. Harrison, second by Mr. Davis. Adoption instructional material for the 22-23 school year. Any questions? All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. That would be 7-0. All right, and the next item, Mr. Chair, members of the board, are the district strategic plan and school renewal plan updates. As you know, we have to update these plans every year. Basically, what we do is we put in the most current data. We make any adjustments that we think we need to make. As you know, we did see some dips in student achievement as a function of COVID-19, as a function of students not reporting to in-person instruction, and simply as a function of the stress of the pandemic.
And I don't want to underestimate the value that that had in really upsetting the lives of not only young people, but their families. You know, when I was watching the news the other day, I observed that they said that we just reached a milestone of 1 million people. 1 million. I mean, that is absolutely breathtaking. That 1 million people. And I was talking to someone recently about the struggles that the companies are having filling positions. And they said, well, you know, JR, you have to consider that we just lost 1 million people from our population. So a lot of these people were working and had jobs. And so if you just lose 1 million people, obviously that's going to have an impact on the supply of available work. So, you know, there's a lot that we experienced over the last several years relative to COVID. I'm confident that we'll get back to where we were relative to our upward trajectory with student achievement. Our school renewal plans are simply an update of those numbers. So we do school renewal plans and a district renewal update. I present that to you for your approval. Can you get a motion?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve the 22-23 district strategic plan and school renewal plan annual updates.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison, second by Reverend Jackson. School renewal plan for 22-23 year. Any questions? All in favor, show by raising the right hand. 7-0. Next time, we're gonna go to operational finance, Mr. Hagan.
Good evening. In the board package, the first item you have this evening is the finance report for the month of April. We're still on track to the mentioned in previous months. Nothing unusual about this month. It's presented for your review and questions or comments. Right. The second item in the board this evening is the second reading of the fiscal year 23 budget. And we won't go into rehash the presentation that we had during the first reading. I will just kind of give you a synopsis of where we are. Nothing has changed in the second reading compared to the first reading. And so all of the information is exactly the same. The highlights are that the budget, total proposed budget is about $43.4 million, which is what our budget was for this current year. So virtually no change in the total budget itself. There is no proposed millage increase in this budget, so the millage is proposed to stay the same for tax purposes. And also this year, for next year's proposed budget, we will plan to take about $1 million roughly out of the fund balance. Now, compared to this current year, we passed the budget to take about $2.6 million out. However, as I mentioned a couple of months ago, we will probably end up taking about $1 million out this year. And so we're saying we're proposing taking about $1 million out next year. And one of the reasons for that is in this budget, we do have a significant number of personnel costs that we're paying for out of our federal ESSER funds. And that kind of helps us to balance the budget a lot for the next coming year. We're doing that as well this year, and that's why we're not utilizing as much money out of the fund balance. So that helps significantly for next year. In terms of some of the revenue items in the proposed budget for for next year. As I mentioned last month, this budget is based on the budget that was passed by the South Carolina House of Representatives. Now, as you all are probably aware, the Senate has proposed a different budget. They proposed different things, and those differences won't really be worked out, we suspect, until the end of June and maybe mid-July. So right now, there's really, when I looked at both of them, there's no significant differences between the two of them in terms of changes to our budget. But obviously, one of the big things that's going to impact us when the final budget is passed will be what happens with the teacher salaries. The House budget proposed $4,000 as a minimum. To get to the minimum state level, we're already paying above that. And as Dr. Reed mentioned, and I mentioned before, when we do the calculations of the additional money that we would receive compared to the cost, we could not afford it. But we're already significantly among one of the best paying districts in terms of teacher salaries. One of the other things that we're including in this budget is also the continuation of the retention bonuses. So that adds to the compensation for all of our staff, teachers and all staff. That will continue. Proposed for next year is $5,000 for certified personnel, $3,000 for our classified personnel. And also the teachers will get at least a step increase as well as all other positions in the district. So that's also in the budget for next year. So those are the major things that impact our budget. As I said, no major changes, but that's just an overview of where we are with the state.
Mr. Robinson, where does our fund balance stand right now?
As of the end of last school year, we were about, I think, $12.9 million. So
Roughly 13 million.
correct.
And since you brought that up, with our bonuses, where would that, going in and getting $1 million, so would you be able to afford it? Pretty much matching in the coming year. I know, pretty much. That's the question.
Yes, so we're still pretty good, solid position in terms of our fund balance. So if we take out $1 million this year, that'll put us at roughly 11.9, roughly 12 million. And $1 million next year, it'll take us about 11 million. And I can't remember whether I mentioned it, Dr. Reed mentioned it, but when he came on board in 2012, we were about 4 million in terms of the fund balance. So we significantly.
Someone that told me, rumor gets out that we get ready to take away the bonuses, and that is not nothing that I know about. That's why I'm asking these questions. So I want to clear the air, that we're not proposing, because I don't know anything about taking away the bonuses. That's what I'm asking.
Now, I want to clarify, and I mentioned this last month. It's in the budget for this coming fiscal year 23. The challenging year will be the year after this year. That will be the year in which we will have a significant reduction in the ESSER funds, which really helps us to be able to balance the budget, and it helps us to minimize what we have to take out of fund balance, and that helps us with the bonus. So for next year, we're on solid ground. It's the fiscal year 24 where we're going to have some challenges in terms of balancing everything.
Thank you.
So Chair.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anybody got any more questions before we put a motion on the thing? Are you ready for the motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can we get a motion, please?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion that we approve the second reading for the fiscal 23 budget. Second reading for the budget.
That's it.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison, second by Mr. Davis, for our second reading. All in favor, show by raising your question.
I was just going to ask, the ESSER funds you said will expire in 24?
they'll expire, I believe it's September of 24. We have 3 different pots of ESSER funds. So some expire in this coming year, and then in 23 and 24. So the amount that we have as those funds diminish and are used, that's what's going to give us a challenge after this next fiscal year. We'll still have money, but it won't be as much.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
So, Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
so what the governor and them are proposing with this, funding to take money and send kids private school, that's not gonna take our budget in the coming years.
Well,
So the Saracen has two different proposals. There's a House proposal that does not take money from schools, general fund, and then there's a Senate proposal that does. Okay, and so it depends on what comes out of conference committee. All right, the House proposal is a 3-year pilot that pulls money from surplus at the state level. The Senate proposal is a permanent program where for every student that leaves your district, basically the funding for that student follows the child. And so it would, depending on what comes out of conference committee, it would have an impact on local districts.
Any more questions? Can we get a motion? Thank y'all. All in favor of the second reading of the 22-23 school year, show by raising the right hand. That would be 7-0.
the final item on the operations and finances, a creative club budget transfer. And the superintendent is recommending approval of a budget transfer in the amount of $25,500 to help fund the Beta Club's summer competition. And we're proposing this transfer that will be paid from some of the projected savings that we have in the school resource officer contract expenditures. So the county actually pays for all of the resource officer expenditures, and then they bill us. However, the county does receive a grant from the state. And so from that saving, we will have extra money to be able to transfer to pay for the Beta Club convention. So there's no reduction in the actual amount of money that is being spent on the resource office, which is additional savings. So we use that for.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion to accept the superintendent recommendation to approval of a budget transfer in the amount of $25,500 to help fund the A Club on the competition.
Second. I second. Was made by Ms. Harrison, second by Mr. Davis. To fund the transfer. We have any questions?
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Correct.
Did we say how he was getting her on the bus or?
Yes, I think the plan is to take a bus.
Okay.
More questions? All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. 7-0. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Roberts.
You know, as Mr. Robinson takes his seat before we move on, Mr. Chairman. In all movements, as we go into the retreat, I know we've asked Mr. Robinson to be there to answer any kind of budgetary question. Just so you'll know kind of what to prepare for. If you know some items that you really discuss, and you want to really break down for you, elaborate on, just email Mr. Robinson or myself those items, so you can kind of be prepared to know what it is you need a little bit more insight into. So if you head into the retreat, yeah, please email him any kind of finance issue, question that we have. So, thanks.
Human resources, it's so.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. This evening, under Human Resources, item 1, you have certified resignations and terminations where superintendent recommends the board approve certified staff resignations and terminations to be effective at the conclusion of academic year 21-22. This is presented to you in Exhibit 1.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
make a motion to accept the superintendent recommendation to approve certified educator resignation, termination to be effective at the conclusion of academic year 2021-22.
Second motion.
Motion made by Ms. Harrison, second by Dr. Harris. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. Thank you.
Next item are certified recommendations. Under this item, the superintendent recommends the board approve certified educators for academic year 2022-23. These individuals are presented in exhibits 2A, 2B, and 2C.
You want to do all of them together?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion, we accept the superintendent recommendation to approve certified professional administrators for the 2022-23 academic year. Exhibit, what is it? 2A, 2?
Excuse me.
2A.
Excuse me.
Oh,
It's the certified recommendations.
oh, certified recommendation.
Yes, look at item 3.
Okay, 1A, 2A,
2A, 2B, and 2C.
2A, 2, under 3C.
Yes.
Okay.
I said second.
I said.
I think it's green.
It's great.
I'm sorry, you apologize, I didn't hear you.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. Motion made by Ms. Harris, second by Ms. Green. Items 2A, 2B, and 2C. Is that right? All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. That would be 7-0. Thank you.
And
Last.
lastly, certified administrative recommendations.
Okay.
They are being presented to you in Exhibit 3A, and in this recommendation, the superintendent recommends the board approve certified professional administrators for 2022-23 academic year. Exhibit 3.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
make a motion that we accept the superintendent recommendation for certified administrators, professional administrators
For
22-23. Exhibit 3.
Second motion. Yeah, all right,
Dr. Harris. Motion made by Ms. Harris, second by Dr. Harris. Professional administrative. Exhibit 3. All in favor, show by the raising of the right hand. 7.
Thank you.
So. This time we have the board chair report. Just, we want to know that on June 11th, we have a board retreat starting at 9 o'clock, ending at 11. As you hear Dr. Green say, if you have any questions concerning the budget, please email him. We have Robert Rules, we have the returns from the State School Board Association here that morning also, and any other things that you think that we can talk about. Dr. Green will do icebreaker for us, and the other things that y'all think that we need to include. Just let me know. No. Okay, so Ms. Harrison.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to recognize some students that I tell you, I was overwhelmed with joy with the parents, because they were some of my recipients from my scholarship. Dr. Green daughter was one of them. I get twins mixed up. It's Janelle Jamal. Deval McCord was one of them, and we have a Dr. Deja Davis. She's completed pharmacy school. She was our 2014 graduate, so that tells you how long I've been doing those scholarships. She was one of my recipients, and I was able to attend her event, and it was very emotional. I mean, everybody was crying because she said it was a struggle, and I'm sure it was, but she made it, and I told her that please don't forget about where you come from, come back and let the other ones know that just because you're from Fairfield, don't mean you can't do it. You can do it no matter where you come from. So I'm just so proud of all of these students. And on Thursday, I will be going to Richard Wayne graduation to present the first scholarship for this year. I had about 20 applicants from Fairfield. That's more than I ever had. So my committee is struggling right now. They said that most all of them is really, really good. So they're struggling. So we should have those announcements by next week. And we also in Ridgeway have a community festival on Saturday. I'm starting at 12, and all of y'all are welcome. Everything is free. I think the table me and Ms. Green is at. It's free fish and fries, and she's gonna do the voter registration. I think Dr. Green Church is doing kickball. I don't even know if they got him doing it. I don't even know if you know the church got me. But I told him I wasn't playing no more. We weren't doing no more kickball. I didn't play last time, but it's a big event. I mean, Stephon Willingham, he puts this on every year, and he just gives back to the community. And I think it's a great thing that he's doing for the community, but it's for everybody. He does it in Ridgeway because he's from Ridgeway, but it's for any and everybody. The kids have a good time, the parents have a good time, and everything is free.
Any more? Mr. Davis.
Chairman Miller, Leaders and Achievers and I hosted the meet and greet the first responders of Fairfield County. We want to thank everyone that came out on that day. It was a very successful event. Everyone had a good time, had a lot of good laughs and everything. This coming June the 3rd, Leaders and Achievers and I will be feeding the graduating class this year. So we're gonna be out there about 9:30. We're gonna try to have them in and out. By 10:30, we have everything served up. And that's what we plan on doing. So you're welcome to come if you'd like to attend that event.
Ms. Green.
Yes, I would like to just thank the teachers and to reassure them that I understand that this year has been an experience. These last couple years has been different for not only the teachers, but the faculty and staff of all the schools. And just hang in there, and we hope we don't lose any more teachers, because teachers are essential and we need you. And we want you to feel supported. We support all teachers and administrators. And if you need us, we're here for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Dr. Green.
Yeah, so Mr. Miller, as I work with you to prepare the agenda for the board retreat, I don't want you all to blame me or Mr. Miller and the items you want to discuss are not on the agenda. Because I'm asking you to send me the items you want to discuss on the agenda. In the absence of you sending me items, Mr. Siegel, I'm just gonna put what I think we need to do. That's what we need to do, the agenda, not, okay? So just go ahead me and Mr. Miller just put what we think you all want to talk about. Y'all tell us what you want to talk about. So if you get toward that day, email me or email him, and I want to him on putting the agenda together. And I will hear from you, and we will be with you and I can meet with you. Agree? We have no one to blame what you said. Blame on the agenda that y'all want to talk. All right. Anybody got anything else? This time, get a motion.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion made, adjourned, second by Ms. Green. All in favor, show by raising the right hand. Meeting adjourned.
Y'all been playing today?
I saw some.